Hello?
Okay.
Hello? Hey, you can draw an elevator if you like. Do you want a chair?
I'm not sure just what I want just yet.
Yeah.
I do my own practice uses
Yeah.
crayons, right?
Oh, cool.
So, and part of that is because that's what I can afford because I live in poverty.
Yeah.
So, I
Here, I'll
thought
put 'em
I
here.
don't even have a camera. I couldn't document.
Oh, I can document. I've documented.
Well,
And I
you
can
know,
send
so-
you photos.
Can we talk? We were on the topic of you were talking about, the dialoguing between like.
Independent Living Resource Center
Yeah.
and the Entrepreneurs with Disabilities program.
Right. Okay.
Because from an artist perspective,
Yeah.
I just finished the ACI Arts and Culture Industries.
Oh, management. What did you?
Managing your arts practice.
Oh, okay.
With Heather Bishop.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely fabulous.
Oh, great.
And they were so accommodating. I was really transparent at my interview, right? So great support all the way through. Really good skills. I came out. I had been working for 1 year with SMD
Yeah.
to get hearing aids and equipment I need, a camera, scanner, printer for my arts practice.
Right.
As part of that, called ILRC, talked to the Entrepreneurs with Disabilities guy and had this whole discussion about how they couldn't support my practice because it wasn't 9 to 5 and because it wasn't more than 15 hours a week. And I said, well, that's just not how the arts industry works. Like,
Yeah.
you're in production and then you're in,
really
and even with disability perspective, to think about, how many hours a person works, and to think about 9 to 5, that's not even any industry. No industry is working 9 to 5
Right,
anymore.
right, yeah.
So it's like being really out of touch with what the needs of the artists with disabilities
Yeah,
are.
and needing to slot you into an already, a
Existing.
position that can be really documented with paperwork, and that it already fits this criteria
I
of
don't-
we can get you to have a job and you can be fulfilled in the industry, in whatever industry you want, but it's not really like that.
So
right?
after this year that
Yeah.
I put in at SMD
Yeah.
and Voc Rehab Services, I got turned down for both requests.
That's incredible.
And there's a whole story in that
Mm-hmm.
I think is a really important part of the documentation that has to happen. But I think it's just so important that we're gathering and we're talking about this.
Yeah.
Because we can't be part of the industry if we can't get through the door and up the stairs and into the gatherings and the meetings and to meet wonderful people. Mawa is a good place because it's accessible. That's
Yeah.
where we met.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, so I think I'm just congratulations on working on this project, and we just need to keep that network strong and keep working on that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's do this thing.
Awesome.
I don't know how to draw an elevator.
I have some ideas, but I'll leave it up to you guys.
We have chalk.
A really nice letter, but I just think it was just so important. I'm going to be really curious to see what those 5 exhibitions are.
Oh, okay, so this is your letter from Ace Art.
Yeah, from September 12th. And really nice letter from Ms. Garlecki, and I
Yeah.
think it's really hopeful and encouraging.
Yeah.
But the reality is that we didn't get in.
Yeah.
Daphne Enns and I
Yeah.
applied, and the exhibition was about counterpose, is the title of it. And it's kind of that balance, that shifting that way that we're just talking about, expectations that people have of artists with disabilities that are just so out of whack, changing that.
What do you think the expectations are? Like, if you could stereotype what those are.
Well, I think the challenge is that people, the disability groups and the disability industry that supports us
Right.
doesn't understand the arts as a calling, as an industry, as a practice, as perhaps not only the best way for us to create a meaningful living for ourselves.
Because
and,
it's on your own time, and it's...
and you can control if you have pain management
Right.
issues, all
Yep.
kinds of things.
If you
But
can't work one day, then you're okay, yeah.
But I think it's also important that there's a whole cultural dialogue that is just lost because our work isn't being seen and talked about and considered.
Right.
And so I think the other piece is that they don't understand the arts people, the arts industry.
Yeah, thanks.
The arts people and the arts industry, I don't think understand that disability is all the time.
Right.
So it's not just the issue that you're having about getting into ACE art. It's one of my friends, Daphne, isn't here because she's trying to help other people gather artists together for dialogue.
Yeah.
And more importantly, she can't get into the school where her daughter goes to school because it's like this. This probably doesn't even require, there's probably a minimum amount of steps. So according to code, they might not even need that.
Right.
At this woman's school where she has to go in to get her child, the stairs are such that if she goes around to the front, that's a big deal for her because of the way she moves. She's got to park here, come in, but they don't have to change those stairs. So she's battling not only making art, producing art, showing art,
But having a family.
And having to battle parking. That's another one
Yeah.
that she's been on about is, having to get parking that's accessible because winter's coming up and where are we going to and how are we going to.
Yeah.
All of those things are all the time for us.
Yeah.
They're all the time for us. And so it can't help but impact what we put into our work.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So I don't mean to.
No.
Obviously, this is
exactly why we're
I'm
here.
living
Yeah,
it. This is the dialogue we want to
Exactly
have.
why we're here, to
Yeah.
have these conversations and to document them and to take notes from them and make them more public.
Yeah, and I think that's just really, really great. So I'm absolutely delighted to.
Yeah, I'm just interested. Do you know what that entails, like for somebody to just go on disability instead of work?
Well, it's
As an artist.
They don't encourage that. In fact, most people who go try and get on disability pension are turned down, and they have to go back, and then another percentage, I think maybe 80%, are turned down, and then a few more come through if they keep reapplying. But it's not something that. They wouldn't say, oh, you're an artist, and so therefore we should support you in a disability pension.
No.
And same is true with social assistance disability. Like one is a pension plan kind of a thing, and one is a social assistance because you're unable to work.
Right.
And certainly someone who is currently working even part-time, I don't think would be eligible for that. But sometimes you're talking about trying to hold on to your home. And in my case, because I was expecting, after all these people had invested in me, professionals, I had to go to audiologists, so the government had invested in me there. I had to go for 1 year of employment counseling, vocational counseling through SMD, so all the professionals that I saw through there. And then there was the ACI the intake and the course and all the professionals there and all the and so for them to then everyone saying, yeah, this is a good idea, this woman has the practice that she's my arts practice is both visual, and I also am a trainer and consultant and on areas of equity and diversity and things like that, the kinds of things we're talking about here. And so everybody, all these professionals that the government had put into this cost, all of a sudden one bureaucrat, because I don't fit into the 100-page brochure or the manual that they have to follow, just said no. And so when the counselor said, well, what if we change this and put it in a different code? He says, no, there is no money. So the system is there that puts people through for no reason, knowing that there's no money there for them. So it's a kind of an odd practice to spend the energy and the time. So your question about disability and pension is, it's very hard and very complicated. And my personal experience has been that at the end of it, one bureaucrat, because they don't understand the arts industry, can put that to a stop. Or they don't believe that, they don't see the connection between whether it's emergency that you can't hear your customers or your clients or whatever.
Right.
And then the other part is, not only did they do that, but they turned down the equipment that was needed to produce. So I
Right.
can't even document this great event
Right.
Because I don't have the tools that I need.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
that's kind of odd. And even
Yeah.
if I do a drawing, I can't currently go into Martha Street Studio with Printmakers Association.
Yeah.
Wonderful group,
Yeah.
brilliant artists all collected, because it's not yet accessible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they've been working on it
Yeah.
for a length of time. But as I
Yeah.
kind of said to
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you know, imagine
Timing.
yes,
Yeah.
imagine if it's a long time for you guys doing it from the
Yeah,
inside.
yeah.
Imagine what it's like waiting from the outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Like in 10 years, I can be a printmaker because
Yes,
then I'll have access.
yes.
You know?
And so I could be
Yeah,
making things and
right.
selling them right now
Right.
to buy my own hearing aids
Yeah.
so that I could do the training,
Yeah.
so that I could help the people that aren't serving us in the way that we need to be served.
Right.
But I can't do that because
Yeah.
I don't have the
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So I'm in a place
Yeah.
where I'm actually thinking of signing over my possession. You know, I have a house with my partner. I'm in a place where I'm contemplating just signing over half my house to him, because he could do a reverse mortgage. I could buy hearing aids, then I could do my work, and I could buy equipment, and then I could produce my multiples, and then I could sell the product, and then I could pay for my house. So it's in an, you know, when you say...
Yeah, like you have to get rid of all your stuff.
Yeah,
to be
the
able
economics
to-
of it.
yeah,
The economics of it
Yeah.
is real. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
not being able to get in and
Yeah.
out is a big part of it.
Yeah.
People with disability don't understand the arts. People in the arts don't understand disability.